internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world.
XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours Script. Let's get right into today's video. Wow, I don't even know where to begin. As I was making this video, Brad Garlinghouse dropped a bombshell, and here's the press release from the OCC. OCC announces conditional approvals for 5 National Trust Bank charter applications. Folks, this is monumental because this is pretty much telling you that we could have up to 5 federally regulated trust banks, will be allowed to operate nationwide once they meet the OCC's conditions. They're not open yet, but they are cleared to become banks pending final approval. Wow. I mean, remember, it's crazy it's happening. We were looked at as delusional when we said Ripple was going to become a bank, and we said, hey, take a look at what the IMF gave us, a big riddle, and they looked at us, they laughed at us, and now it's happening. Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and smash that like button. This is going to be a very intense video with many clips from industry experts helping us understand why the value of XRP is going to go absolutely bananas. I don't even know where to begin. First of all, let's set the tone and listen to what JP Morgan said. Okay, very important because we're going to talk about stablecoins and how stablecoins alone are going to cause XRP to explode in value significantly. And you're going to get a lot of them. You're going to get a lot of insight here, folks. It's going to be very educational. Please share this video with everybody you know. Educate them on liquidity and how XRP is going to go to $100 mathematically, logically, because it has to meet the standard. So listen to what JP Morgan says here about, there isn't going to be there isn't going to be a lot of stablecoins. And then the ending is, how do we get rid of the rest? Wow.
I think it's actually probably the primary risk to stablecoins is having too many stablecoins. Because at some point, you might get into a singleness of money issue, which becomes overwhelming. So if I have to go to Starbucks outside and then figure out which dollar I'm going to pay with, that's a problem.
Yes.
And at that point, I will go, you know what, I might as well use the US dollar cash versus going to anything. So I think we need to preserve singleness of money. Right now, we have a few big players, but I think one of the side effects of Genius and others is there has been a bit of a Cambrian explosion of everyone and their uncle who wants to launch a stablecoin.
Yeah.
Who knows how many will survive, but I think that becomes a threat.
So Jeremy, what do you do about that? How do you get rid of all the others?
Yeah, I mean, I think...
That is a very important topic, which we will cover in a future episode where he talks about how do we get rid of them. Because right now we have RLUSD, USDC highly regulated, and it's going to be utilized by every single institution that's regulated. You have USDT that is not even being talked about. And soon you're going to see the true winners. And now take a listen to what David Schwartz says here, because it is very important. This was back in the COVID-19 era, but this was a golden nugget. This was a huge puzzle piece. And then I'm going to connect this clip with many other clips within industry experts that is going to completely blow your mind. Listen to what David Schwartz says here. And keep in mind, you have Tobias Adrian, okay, an individual that wrote this PDF with the IMF and at the BIS, which we're going to get into in a moment. Some very important things were said here about a common settlement asset. Well, let me cover this very quickly, and we'll get into what David says here. Because they put this 31-page PDF out there. They talked about how they're going to, create a common settlement asset, et cetera, et cetera. And then in the conclusion, they said, in cross-border payments, a common settlement asset or a common settlement platform does not exist because different countries use different currencies and have different banking systems. Incredible, right? Like they're talking about how they could tackle this. They talked about what kind of platforms that they could utilize, and they even talked about a private settlement asset and marketplace like Ripple and XRP in this document. This was back in 2023. And now in 2025, Ripple is about to become a bank. Do you not see where this is going? Do you not see how XRP is about to get positioned? If you don't, stick to the very end of this video because you're going to understand exactly where XRP is going to fit in. Now, David Schwartz, take it away.
If you're looking at cross-border, that key factor is interoperability. You're working across jurisdictions and across assets. You need a neutral asset in between different CBDCs, or your liquidity is going to be divided among the n-squared pairs of CBDCs. Similarly, if other assets, such as securities around the world, get tokenized, there's even more need for a neutral asset between multiple CBDCs and possibly a large number of new assets in new asset classes. So there's an opportunity here to bridge domestic real-time payment systems such as...
Man, that video just gets me so hyped up. A free-floating neutral bridge that sits between all stablecoins and absorbs the flow. That is XRP. And here's the part people miss. When the stablecoin ecosystem goes to $4 trillion, the bridge asset that connects it cannot be smaller than the system it supports. Okay, I repeat. When the stablecoin ecosystem reaches $4 trillion, we're talking about stablecoins, just stablecoins, the bridge asset that connects it cannot be smaller than the system it supports. Marcus Treacher, you're 9 years in Swift. Can you just give a little bit of insight on this?
We focus on is using XRP, which is a very high velocity and very high volume digital asset. It's a free floating asset, unlike a CBDC or stablecoin. Use it as a bridge currency between these CBDCs. So you imagine a world in future where there are, let's say, 180 individual CBDCs per jurisdiction in the world. Making markets between those CBDCs is quite challenging unless you have a common single point, the bridge currency, which then enables connections to be made more efficiently and markets to be made between these individual currencies.
So you may ask yourself, okay, you were just going crazy about how the bridge asset cannot be smaller than the system it supports. Why? Because the bridge has to absorb the volume, recycle that liquidity repeatedly, allow market makers to quote whatever size they want to do these moves, and have the ability to move large value without price disruption. If the bridge is smaller than the flows that are going through it, you don't get deep liquidity in these markets.
Speculation. Obviously, a lot of the market today is really speculative. But we think over the long run, it's going to be that combination of deep liquidity, market makers, institutional bets being made.
Key thing is, I think, liquidity. So you think about FX markets in 2024, there was upwards of $200 trillion in FX volumes, but in stablecoin volumes, it was like $25 trillion, mostly through speculative trading. So the next challenge that we have as an industry is to now create the breadth and depth of liquidity for stablecoins across key currency pairs like AED and others.
And that is why liquidity has always been the secret sauce. Okay, so let's be conservative, very conservative. It's $4 trillion market for stablecoins, and XRP is the neutral bridge between them. Then XRP's market cap needs to be at least double that to provide confidence, depth, and stability in the markets. That puts XRP around the $8 trillion total market cap. Okay, this is not an insane number. Just double the system it's supporting. Now, when you do the simple math in regards to how much XRP would be, if we were to say there were 60 billion XRP circulating, that's about $133 per XRP right now. And this is not, this is not about, like, I don't even know how to put this in words because people think we're delusional. We're like, oh, these are moon numbers. No, this is like real math. This is not speculation. This is how deep liquidity looks like when the bridge asset is actually doing its job. And when you listen to what is being said here.
Yeah, so I would say two use case categories that we're most excited about. First of all, we plan to leverage the Ripple stablecoin alongside XRP in cross-border payments in our existing real-world cross-border payment product alongside XRP, so we're able to scale that globally significantly going forward and provide certain optionality. And then separately, as we're seeing more real world assets, TradFi companies wanting to engage with us and other projects around like bringing real world assets on the XRP ledger, it's important to have a settlement asset for these, like tokenized money market funds or equities and other financial products. And the US dollar stablecoin is obviously a key piece in terms of, helping to enable, economic activity to emerge.
And also, don't forget what Ripple said literally last week.
So that's the foundation of everything we do. The XRP ledger itself then, of course, has pretty deep liquidity between the XRP token, between RLUSD, and between some of the other assets that have built on the XRP ledger itself. It's bringing that liquidity. We continue to invest in the XRP ledger in its utility. And as we're investing more and more in utility for financial services use case and for financial institutions, that's bringing more of the industry onto the XRP ledger. That brings more liquidity, and liquidity, of course, is a flywheel. So liquidity begets liquidity. People will come to the XRP ledger because of the liquidity. They bring their liquidity with them, and that just continues to build on itself.
Because when you reach that level, you could do large stablecoins, right, without moving the market, doing large stablecoin volume. You don't have volatility, and everything becomes predictable. They need predictability in the system that they're going to be utilizing. And even when you add more layers to this, right, you have tokenized treasuries, tokenized equities, tokenized bonds, tokenized funds, real-world assets moving on chain. Every one of those assets need to settle somewhere. Every one of them needs liquidity. And if XRP is already the neutral bridge for stablecoins, it's naturally becomes the bridge for everything else. The BIS document told you this, that the assets that are coming on chain will gravitate towards the asset with the most deepest liquidity. And an $8 trillion valuation for XRP is just a start. It's the baseline for a functioning system. This is why people who are stuck on market cap arguments don't get it. Market cap is not a limit for utility asset. Market cap is a reflection of how much value the system needs to that asset to hold so it can operate smoothly. So when XRP, if it stayed cheap when the stablecoin ecosystem was at $4 trillion, let's say, for example, $2, the system will break. It won't even work. Okay, just remember that. So the system is going to reprice it upward until it works.
But having liquidity in markets around the world for XRP is a big part of what will make our products over time successful. Serves a dual purpose.
That's the part nobody wants to accept. XRP doesn't go up because people believe in it. XRP's price starts to go up because the system requires it to in order for it to function. And that's the difference between speculation and real infrastructure. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Remarkable times that we're living through right now. And also, expect the unexpected. The head of the IMF, never forget what she said literally a month ago. Listen to what she said here.
And the third big risk, as always, is the unknown. We learned over the last years since COVID, think of the unthinkable. I don't know what the next shock is going to be. I don't know when it is going to come, but I'm pretty confident there would be one. And then we are tested.
That could be Bitcoin collapsing. That could be the stock market collapsing. That could be USDT collapsing. They already know what's about to happen. As much as that sounds crazy, just trust us. Don't trust me. Trust us, the individuals here. Leave a comment, please, explaining to people that don't understand this. Everything's already pre-planned for years in advance. But they need to educate and work through those time spans, okay, to put all this stuff out and educate the billions of people on this planet. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. You heard Marcus, you heard Monica, you heard Eric, you heard Marcus. First names of Marcus Treacher, Eric Van Mittelberg, Monica Long, Marcus Enfanger. You heard David. You heard JP Morgan. There's only going to be a couple of stablecoins that are going to win. We already know RLUSD is a clear winner. We know USDC is a clear winner. And don't be surprised if Ripple buys Circle and it's USDC. I'm being very serious here. And generational bottoms is where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. Generational bottoms is where we at. We are going to be, I'm keeping a very close eye on XRP right now. I have not gone in with my heavy trade yet, but I am prepared to. I will be opening up 2 trades on 2bit and also on Bitunix. We have our generational bottom BNB trade still open. I'm not planning on, I don't plan on closing this forever. I've already profited $7,500 from this trade, and I'm letting the rest ride until at least another year. Generational bottoms, XRP is going to get a massive green candle. If you guys could catch that with a little small 1 or 2 leverage, it is going to be truly, truly remarkable. We do have 1 trade open right now. We got into XRP. I believe that was on Bitunix, but this entry is at $1.97, but we have an entry on Bitunix for $1.80, which we caught when it did that massive dip a couple of weeks ago right here when it came down to $1.20, and we got in around $1.80 for that trade. 2bit right now does have a deposit bonus for new users. If you have not registered with 2bit, if you do register today with the link below and deposit $10, you get a $50 deposit bonus after your $10 has been deposited. Just wait until you get the deposit bonus and you could withdraw the $10 if you want after, but you could utilize this $50 trial fund to profit and withdraw your profits, ladies and gentlemen. The lives are coming. We have setting up. We are not using OBS anymore. OBS just does not seem to work. So I'm looking for other. If you guys have any recommendations for streaming, let me know in the comments down below. But we cannot use OBS anymore. It just does not work for me. I've done many troubleshootings. It just does not work. But that being said, 2bit deposit bonuses, links are in the description down below. Bitunix, 2bit, and crazy deposit bonuses on 2bit right now with insane trial fund bonuses. So with that being said, we'll be back with another video.
They told us dream small, but we had the stars in mind. While they chased hype, we studied time. In the noise we found the signal. Brad knew just what to do. Now XRP hums like jazz, running smooth and true. Money's changing, systems bend, ripple flow into the end. Truth is quiet, bold and deep. We salute the ones who lose no sleep. Salute to the minds that built this chain. Salute, salute through the trials, through the pain. Salute, salute to the calm, to the wise. Salute 100 in our eyes. Bitcoin maxis yell on stage, stuck in loops they call belief, while XRPL just clears the way. No delay, no grief. They hoard coins like dusty gold, but we got utility in every fold. The future ain't loud, it's steady breathing. Real ones know what's worth believing. It ain't hype, it's code and soul. We salute the ones who see the whole. Salute to the builders, to the flow. Salute, salute where the real ones choose to go. Salute, salute to the heart, to the plan. Salute, XRP will lead the land. Value don't lie, and truth don't shake. Let the whole world break, we remake. Strategic reserve, written in stars. XRP gonna take us far. So here's to the signal, clear and bright. To the dreamers who held on tight. No matter the storm, no matter the fight. the light.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.